this 1 p.m. start time way too early, so we're gonna have to change that. So.
Oh, he played the American EPT Cup, didn't he, yesterday? Am I lagging?
I'm lagging too.
Indy.
And Indy's just gone instantly.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, he just asked for a later time slot, so we moved the matches around a little bit.
Cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 on day number 5 of the WardiTV We Sold Out number 2, sponsored by Wardi, ran by Wardi, admin by Wardi, and casted by Wardi as well. We're here, the top right, spawning as the blue Terran player, playing for Team NV. It's going to be Bunny.
And taking on. I was leading to you. Go.
Taking on in the bottom left, spawning as the red Protoss player, hailing all the way from beautiful Germany. It is going to be ShoWTimE. ShoWTimE, who lives in a little bit of a village, actually. Not many people are aware of this. Especially not in his village that he lives there, but he is probably their most famous citizen, except for maybe the mayor. Usually the mayors in these cities have a lot of power. But ShoWTimE lives in village. It's not a city. Like it's a small village. Poor internet connections. The milkman still brings your milk. They don't have a supermarket. They do have a local grocery shop and a 7-Eleven, but that's about it. Yeah. And it's one of those parts in the world where globalization hasn't caught up yet with the daily life of these citizens. Sure, you have the Amazon trucks driving through, but also the milkman. Yeah, they don't stop. No deliveries there. When ShoWTimE goes to the airport, it's like he has like multiple stages in his journey. His first stage is with the horse and the wagon. Brings him to the real city where he can get on like a tram or something like that to the airport. But yeah, we see a full wall coming out of Bunny here, who then follows up with double Reaper Hellion. I always thought these builds were the nicest to play against. The many Reaper Hellion builds. With a full wall, because you're so afraid of everything, and in the moment you see a Reaper, you're so happy that it isn't something that could actually kill you, Like you see this Reaper and you're just like, oh, thank freaking God, it's not a proxy starport. And I swear you, that's what ShoWTimE is thinking as well. Like, these builds, I feel like they just suck. Like, this build is for TvT, and it should stay in TvT. ShoWTime's actually gonna lose this adept if he isn't careful, though.
Yeah, he gets the SCV, but it is dead.
Yeah, it is. Still not the worst, but he needs to be at least a little bit careful now. I think he probably, he's gonna get that third adept out as well in time. Gets a Stargate. I wouldn't even mind if he builds a battery, even though it would be a little bit late most likely. And now we see, second adept will be in time to deal with these shenanigans, and he shouldn't lose much more than a little bit of shields. I was gonna say maybe he'll lose an adept if Bunny decides to commit. This is what I mean. So you delay your CC. Your medevac timing isn't even that great, and you're just down like 3 workers of what you normally are. I just don't understand this build. He's gonna go into Armory and Mine Drop. I feel like this just sucks though, because Stargate is such a standard response to this. You see
He's gonna go for a 4.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay. I'm excited to see. You mean he has no gas, but if he had gas, he'd go for
He's
Thor.
not gonna go for a Thor.
Why can't I have my prediction?
Well, you can have your prediction, but you're just gonna be wrong. Like the build you're talking about is with single command. Like it doesn't have a second base.
I know, but I want to believe, man. Did
he just drop those mines before the armory finished, and then also didn't get the burrows up? That's just okay. I think this build just freaking sucks, honestly. I have no clue why Terrans still do this. Like, I don't mind mine drops with an armory, but I hate the double Reaper Hellion. It just seems so bad. I just don't understand the purpose of it. There's gonna be a Terran in my chat who says it's at very high success rate most likely, but I can't see it. This build never does anything. And that doesn't mean that Bunny can't win with the follow-up push, but this follow-up push just could have been better if he doesn't start with the weird double Reaper Hellion. it just limits your abilities to do things by so much. It gives the Protoss so much freedom in the early game. And it gives you crappy eco. Now, ShoWTimE isn't completely ready for this push, I have to admit. It's gonna warp in 3 extra adept. How many phoenixes he has? 3 phoenixes, 1 oracle. This should be fine, shouldn't it? If he gets like 1 more warp, oh, he's supply blocked. Ooh,
well, supply block doesn't help, but I mean, even just the army as it stands, I mean, if he had like the extra round of adepts, right, it would be really simple to clean up, but he's fine. The 3rd Nexus doesn't die, right? So as long as the 3rd doesn't go down, this is great. The only bad thing is maybe you could have jumped on it, maybe you could have traded out, but...
Yeah, so actually what Bunny is doing here is he wants to force out units pre-tech. So it's very tricky for the TOS right now to scout what Terran is doing. ShoWTimE isn't aware if this is like a big commitment to this factory push and he's still producing units from the factory in the starport. But no, that's of course not the case anymore. So what Bunny wanted was for ShoWTimE to delay his Forge, his Twilight and those upgrades. However, that didn't really work out because ShoWTimE was like, well, your early game sucked so much. Like his charge and his armor are going to be done. And at that point, Bunny needs to run home. If Bunny isn't at home when charge finishes, he could lose this army completely. Even now at this point, like ShoWTimE just managed to do both. You know, usually you need to make a decision. Do I get 6 extra gateway units or do I go for my charge and armor? And ShoWTimE was like, no, actually, I'm just gonna go both. Your push is so extremely non-scary right now that I can be completely safe, even if you would all-in me, and I can also just get my charge, in case you are not all-inning me whatsoever. And ShoWTime's just in a fantastic position here.
Yep. As he backs away down the right side with these Phoenix, couple Vikings give chase, but I love the damage he's done, right? A few bio units, gets a few SCVs, so really kind of rallying up there. And obviously just continues his tech path into Templar Archives, and I mean, it's just so long still, like another minute until Bunny has Stim and combat shields, right? And that's going to be his next kind of scary push with these couple of tanks, but ShoWTimE has all the time to prepare. He's got the tools in the sky with the Phoenix to help. He's even got cannons coming up as well.
I thought that Oracle might die, but no scan there from Bunny. Cyclone's gonna try to set in and chase. There's 2 Cyclones in his army. Oh my god. I have a feeling that this is going to be complete disaster here for Bunny, who has an army consisting of 2 tanks, a bunch of Marines, 4 or 5 Marauders, and 2 Cyclones. I think 1 more big warp in here for ShoWTimE, who has +1 already. I think he should just be able to completely crush this, no?
Yeah, let's see. He's going to start walking in right now. So charges through. Obviously, the tanks don't last long as the Phoenix. A little late to the fight, so they didn't lift up the tank right away. I mean, the Zealots took a couple of extra volleys on the way through, but it just takes the bio army so long to get through those Zealots. Once those Zealots go down, you could argue maybe this is a bit scarier. There's still an Archon left, and yeah, it's just enough from ShoWTimE to push this back. I mean, at least Bunny gets the bio units out of there, but the tank count gets reset, and I feel like you're playing a tank count against something which isn't even good to play tank count against, this kind of Zealot Archon setup. And so I feel like it's good if you can get to like 5, 6 tanks and you're actually blowing things up, but you know, when you're stuck on 2 or 3 tanks all the time, it feels like you just never actually kill anything with them.
Oh yeah, and here it comes. Bunny slightly overextending, it feels like. Loses once again almost all of his important units, the tanks, a couple of the Marauders. Doing a good job microing though, but without mines it can be tricky. No force fields being used here by ShoWTimE, which is honestly just kind of bad. Like, that's what you have the sentries for. Now he finally uses them, and you see that trade going a lot better immediately. I feel like he kind of overextended here, and his trades haven't been looking so hot, even though he's constantly been in the lead. He's also been floating a little bit of money. I think he's only on 8 gateways, isn't he? Yeah. When you play this composition, you either need a very fast fort base, or you need to go up to 10 gates, or a faster second robo but you're just going to be floating a lot of money. So a little bit sloppy there by ShoWTimE in that control and in that macro, but he's still in a completely fine position, of course. He has some big power units in his army, couple of Archons. He's sending out the Prism right now, but he does need to be careful, because if Bunny can manage to keep trading like this, he could actually potentially set up a pretty decent push.
Yep, absolutely. As he comes through the center at the moment, siege tank with this force, and the couple of libs as well. If you get position with the liberators and so on, right, it can definitely become scary. But the Zealots in the main base, and that's going to force Bunny to respond to this. So, you know, first the libs come back, Marauders are turning around. I mean, yeah, you might be able to clean this up without losing too many units, but everything's come back home, so you've lost so much time setting up the attack. and just give ShoWTimE the time now to set up into Colossi. So, yeah.
Yeah. And this was going to be a very dedicated attack, right? He was already building Liberators and a lot of mines. So I feel like Bunny was kind of signaling like, hey, I'm going to be going into a push and I want to keep that position, keep adding mines and lips. And now that he realizes that he can set up that push, he decides to add the extra gases on the third base. We see him go back into medevac production, but I mean, it's just going to be a really, really rough setup for him. The nice thing is that he still has the armory from the early game, so he can't forget that. Sometimes you see Terran actually build a second armory, though, because they forget they build it early on in order to get their upgrades. That always makes me happy when I see that in a replay.
And the Terran has just been a fool. This attack from Bunny trying to come through a bit of a nasty choke point. I mean, ShoWTimE just pushes straight in. The tanks don't last very long at all, and Mother Mines do okay this time around, and ShoWTimE actually takes a bit of splash. He's like, oh, wait a sec. That was scarier than it needed to be. Of course, he's just a few moments out from extended thermal lance, which makes this entire engagement so much easier, plus the extra Colossi coming in. Once extended thermal lance and Colossi are out here, it just feels like Bunny, his only way to kind of deal damage is to do this, right? Split up the army and to try and catch ShoWTimE, not splitting his army properly against his splits.
ShoWTimE playing a little bit sloppy once again, not cleaning up those mines with the Oracle that he had or with the Observer that was floating around the area in the middle. So far I feel like the control out of ShoWTimE and the realization of the things he needs to do with his army has actually been rather poor. Now, he's also going to be caught slightly out of position here. Out of his main base. That's a single pylon powering a lot of things. There is an army moving towards the main. Nothing at the right, but Bunny also is sending nothing to the right. So I think ShoWTimE should be fine. Blink completes just in time. His armor upgrade also completes in time. So his +2 will get denied, but that's not that big of a deal because it only just started.
Yep, as you see the bio on the left side, going to start kiting back. Colossi chasing in. A couple of mine shots going down. And again, just this army, kind of a little bit of everywhere from Bunny, and just kind of keeping ShoWTimE pinned back. But Bunny is also not on a great SCV count or anything, so he needs to get damage done. And right now, I would say he's just not really finding enough of it.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't started any of the follow-up upgrades either, so he was going for a make or break play with those ghosts. He probably wanted to do enough damage with the drop in the main and to follow up with ghosts. Here come the SCVs, but Wardy, I am not feeling this. There's 3 Colossi here. The ShoWTimE starts 3-2 as he sees this SCV pool. He's like, oh, I think I can actually survive while spending 500 gas in things I don't really need. Start the super battery. Vikings won't be able to break through that as ShoWTimE seems to be able to clean up this first game, mainly reliant on that very powerful early game that he had, though. It felt like afterwards there were some moves that you see Protoss players make after they know they're far ahead and they kind of want to finish the game. You know, I can just A-move this army, but you get guided back all the way to the third base and it looked close at
Good road.
the way.
A way to Katowice.
Is this the way to Katowice?
Are you gonna have like an intro song now?
Hugging my pillow. You don't know the way
To Amarillo? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, you
Is
should.
it the road to Amarillo or way to Amarillo? Is this
The way to. It must be way.
Amarillo. Every night I've been hugging my pillow.
Yeah, but you need more Starcraft references for line 2.
What is this the map to Amarillo? Look at that. Look at, is this the way to Katowice? And then what?
Every night I've been.
Nothing rhymes with Katowice. Is this the way to the Polish tourney? Come and join me on this journey. I don't think this is gonna work, Wardy, but I'm down to make a team song.
Katowice rhymes with pizza. But not that has anything to do with Star.
Yeah, maybe your pronunciation.
Yeah, I mean, if as an Englishman, it sounds brilliant.
Yeah. Is this the way to Katowice? I can't wait to eat my pizza. This is not how it works, Marty. we have Bunny opening up with a fake proxy Rex. This is something I really like, and it's kind of interesting as well. So it's a similar setup to that last game. You know what's great about this strategy is that I like this a lot when it's with a Marine first. But when it's with just a Reaper again, and you send the Reaper home, it actually doesn't do anything if ShoWTimE doesn't open with a Zealot. This would work against Korean Protosses who like to open Zealot first against this. But ShoWTimE is like, no, just open up with Stalker and get a blind battery. But now he sees the Reaper, and it's literally the same thing as last game. Like, right now, ShoWTimE already knows exactly what's going to happen. There's going to be one car, and then you can do a follow-up, but it's going to hit at around 4 minutes. I can follow this up with Stargate. I can follow this up with Twilight even. You can play 2-gate Twilight, Robo before Blink, and you just get a battery in both mineral lines, and you're going to be fine against absolutely everything. There's nothing that can kill you. Like, this build is just kind of mediocre. I don't like that the Twilight isn't in the wall, though. I think that's a slight error, because you don't actually care too much about hiding it. You care more about making sure you don't take any damage, because your economic situation is going to be good no matter what. Ooh, he's chronoing on the Nexus as well. I feel like this is a little bit greedy. Just a little bit.
Something out workers, maybe not looking towards his units as much as he should be. I mean, these units are from Bunny also just staying very passive, so not really finding an opportunity yet. 2 Stalkers here. Going to be good to hold this back, you think? I think so.
Yeah, he's getting Blink before Robo as well, which I think is also kind of risky. He's now getting called out of position by these units. Gonna get the Hellion and the Reapers for it. Good split by ShoWTimE. Will end up losing, I think, 2, maybe 3 workers. Yeah, it's gonna end up being 3, and gets 3 units for it. This isn't the worst trade value-wise, but
it didn't need to happen, right?
Sorry?
It just didn't need to happen.
Yeah. The thing is that Reaper and Hellions are so much on a timer to do damage, right? And the earlier they do damage, the better it is. So it feels kind of so-so. Now, ShoWTimE's kind of lucky that this drop is without an armory, because if this drop was with an armory, this is why I was saying you need a Robo before you start your Blink. Because you see what would have happened otherwise? Your Blink isn't in time yet, so you can't deny the mine drop, and you don't actually have detection either, so 2 shots will go off, meaning you can't mine for quite a long time if this was with an armory. But ShoWTimE actually lucking out a little bit here, takes a bit of a risk, saying, okay, what's the chance you're gonna do armory mine drop 2 times in a row? And apparently he had the correct call. Now this is just, mine drop gets a sentry and a sloppy play by ShoWTimE. He gets good openers, but the play following it up has not been super tight.
Yeah, definitely making a few mistakes along the way so far. As you see, Bunny 3CC'ing it up back at home, so nice big economy from him. His first tank is out, his Raven is here, so he's got all the tools to defend with and to hold on with and go into the next stage of the game. It's just going to be, again, a while until we see Stimpak, Combat Shields, and anything which I feel can realistically go pushing across the map.
Yeah, it just feels like ShoWTimE has a crap ton of freedom right now. He doesn't know yet that he has the freedom, though, which it is very, very nice for Bunny. Imagine you're an American and, you don't know that you can have guns. You're not aware of the Second Amendment. That wouldn't be great. That is the situation ShoWTimE is currently in. He's not aware that he's allowed to have guns. And he just wants to shoot some stuff, alright? But he can't, Wardy. Now, what can he do? First of all, he could read the Constitution. As every patriotic American should be doing every night before bed. On top of that, he could have built a sentry a bit earlier to get that vital information faster. You see, he's cutting on workers right now. He's not producing workers from his third. He's not producing workers from his main. He's adding a lot of gateways because he wants to go for a defensive play, most likely, like a big defensive weapon. He wants to be able to hold anything that's coming from him. If he knew he was playing against Triple CC, he would be on 5 gas already. I'm convinced of this. His Storm probably would have been starting already, and in that case, you most likely want to be going for like a 3 Templar move out with either +1 armor or maybe even with 1/1. Sometimes you can set up these things as well. But yeah, right now, I think just by seeing the amount of units, he should be capable of figuring out that this is not a real 3-rex,
Yeah.
But I feel like he isn't getting it, Wardy. He's building Immortals. He has a Prism for the counterattack on the right side. But this, you could say, well, this setup now is okay for attacking because he cut so many workers, but it's very tricky to attack into a Terran that has tanks and mines with pure Zealot Stalker, like, especially because his Templar Archive is related. And now we see those 3 extra gases. He ideally built those a minute and a half ago, but he just wasn't aware. He wasn't... Should have read the Constitution, ShoWTimE. Is his bad.
Do your homework, kids.
Do your homework, kids.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, so definitely not being able to take advantage of, you know, where you should maybe be, but it's the beauty of StarCraft. Sometimes you don't figure things out, and that's what makes these games interesting. Otherwise, the same thing would happen every single time.
Yeah. Yeah, this is now actually looking okay for Bunny. Even though his early game situation wasn't that great, he's moving out here, and he's hitting at kind of this sweet timing where... So if he would have hit a minute and a half ago, ShoWTimE was really ready for that, right? And now ShoWTimE has been investing a lot. What are you looking at? You're making noises, Wardy.
I'm not making noises.
No, you went... Oh, okay. Well,
I went,
okay. Everything is a blur when you speak to me, Wardy. It all sounds great in my ears. As we have... Raven going in as well. Is he going to be able to throw down a couple of turrets in this position? ShoWTimE might be in a bit of trouble here. If this gets set up properly, turrets could be used as a way to block the Zealots as well. Oh, he's going to go for the anti-armor. But there's not a lot of Marines here, so it's a little less useful than usually is. This was a great trade though for Bunny. Holy crap.
Yeah, he found a lot of value, and he's even going to get these couple of Immortals on the tail end of it as well. He will get out with 3 of the Medivacs as well, so... maintaining some of the tech here, right? The bio very expendable, and ShoWTimE absolutely struggling. Like you say, right? He was ready for an earlier fight, and that weakens him for a later fight. So
yeah,
definitely, you can see that in just how this went. He's still going to try and warp in Zealots on the other side. He's going to try and keep the pressure up, but Bunny can just reinforce to that. And obviously, right now, he's going to struggle to maybe defend at home. There are storms available, right? So he's got something at least to look to maybe try and perform a miracle there.
Look at this F2 already. That nice F2. We don't see that every day. He just stimmed everything home. Every single unit got stimmed home. You just love to see it. Now this is... So what ShoWTimE is doing here is... He's doing this a little bit too late. This should have kind of happened during that fight, but I don't think he was ready for a drop into the main base. So he was so panicked that he forgot to send the Prism in, and with that turret that's in the main base, I kind of appreciate that as well. Now ShoWTimE is going for a move out. I think this is just to delay the push, so he can get into robo units. I find it difficult to believe that ShoWTimE thinks that he can kill, but maybe he thinks he can. He also has no vision in the middle of the map against a player like Bunny that moves out the moment that basically... The moment that Bunny was allowed to wall, he was out and about, you know? You just know his parents were chasing him all the way around. I think he was born in Seoul. All the way around Seoul. And this is the same in this game. I mean, he's just moving out the moment he gets the chance. And this army of Bunny definitely has some freaking legs as it's... going in and out of the storms, running forward now, chasing, taking out these Immortals as well, and this is just going to be it, right? ShoWTimE has absolutely nothing. After, once again, a fantastic start, he just kind of misread the game.
Yep, and you have the beautiful surround to basically close out. He's going to go across the map now, and ShoWTimE has what? Well, 2 storms remaining, and obviously scrambling towards disruptors, so he needs amazing storms, amazing disruptors, and some really kind of miracle fights to kind of turn this around. I guess the first storm, which just kind of forces it back and buys him some time for the disruptors, I guess. Bunny is eventually going to get down this ramp. He dodges out of this storm. The next storm will force him to keep kiting backwards for a few more moments, but he's got a tank here. He's killing off Zealots, and now it's just a job of dodging the disruptors, and he's got this game in the bag as Probes running back through the bio army to get back and deliver some minerals. And then come the disruptor shots, but Bunny splits from 1, splits from 2, and that is going to be 1-1 in the best of 5, tied up. And, yeah, going to go to at least 4 games. So Bunny putting up a fight.
Yeah, like 400, 450 milliliters, something like that.
I'm not friends with my water at the moment because there's no hot water.
But you don't drink hot water, right?
No, but I'm just saying I'm not friends with it because it won't go hot if I wanted to.
You know, I fixed that the other day. I told you about it, no?
Oh, I think so.
I did. I fixed my my boiler by myself.
Yeah, what did you do? Did you put Refill it to put the pressure up or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
It felt so good, man.
Yeah, done that one, didn't work.
Uh, did you read the error codes? I had like a massive manual, like legit like 140
Hey,
pages.
there are no error codes on my boiler.
Yikers. Yeah. It was the first time I ever did it. And I was looking at this and I think I can actually figure this out. And usually when I think I can figure something out that has nothing to do with StarCraft, it always goes terribly wrong, you know? I hate IKEA furniture, for example, because that never works for me. But this one, I was like, okay, let me just sit. It took me like 40 minutes, but I read everything. I Googled some things. And I was like, okay, I think I'm ready. And but the setup that's in my boiler room, like, is a little bit weird. Like, it's different than in most tutorials. So I had to mess around with it a bit. And then I got it. I was so happy, man. When the meter started going up, I turned it on. My hot water works again. I'm like, I did that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I immediately sent like a text to Arian. I was like, hey, listen what I just did. Fix the boiler. Never felt so manly before. That's great.
It's amazing because mine's broke and I'm not going to live here anymore soon, so what a great time for it to break.
Oh yeah, that is nice. Wait, why do you even need hot water there?
Because at some point I'm going to have to sell or rent this place out.
Ah, right. And then it would be nice if the tenants would be capable of having hot water.
Of being able to, like, you know, wash
Shower.
stuff and... Well, I can actually still shower because the shower is an electric shower.
Oh, wow.
So I can still shower, I just can't wash the dishes and stuff without freezing my fingers off.
And also your heating shouldn't work then, no?
Yeah, I've got no heat either, yeah. But that's okay because I just close the door in my studio and I don't leave, and then it's really warm.
Yeah, because of all the
technology. Yeah, the only problem with that is all the lights just went out here and I don't have any spare light bulbs. And they're not coming until Saturday from Amazon, so... So I've got to sit in the dark, but at least I'm warm.
Yeah, nice.
I can either have light or warm. That's the choices.
Yeah. Oh, this adept arrives too fast. And this SCV, both of the SCVs got 5 damage on them. You know, this is actually a really, really big deal. If he gets the Reaper as well, that would be an even bigger deal. But the adept actually walks out. Man, this is massive. Now the next adept is coming in as well. Holy crap. He built the gateway on the low ground. That's why the bunker was just a little bit too late. And the double hit on both the SCVs, absolutely brilliant by ShoWTimE. That was such a nice move, man. That's cool. I like that, Wardy. That was nice. That was just a nice little start here for ShoWTimE, who 3rd game in a row is just going to have a really, really solid start.
Yeah. Really, really good stuff. He's going to go Robo on the follow-up. What do you make of that? After the blink, just a bit more aggressive?
Well, just no. Okay, so when the actually, it's possible. So usually, when you see the Robo before the blink starts, that kind of indicates like a 4-gate, you know. But this doesn't seem like a 4-gate setup for what he's going for, because he has three gateway units already. Oh, this is blink Colossus.
Ah, yeah, 4 gases. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was wondering the same. I was like, like this is not a 4-gate setup, but then it makes no sense that you wouldn't start blink immediately, right? Because like, what else is there? This is super uncommon though to play. We don't really see this anymore. He doesn't have enough workers on the natural either. This is a little bit sad. He took his gases too fast. You see that? It's like 11-16. He's gonna be really poor. 3rd base is going to be kind of yikesy to build. Should get a Robo Bay right now. Yep, there we go. Oh my god, I love it when games make sense like this. This is going to be hard later when we're casting max packs. I'm gonna make all types of predictions, but max packs right now in PvZ plays extremely, you know, out there. Yeah. I don't want to spoil too much, but he's
extremely out there.
He's a wild style, you know. So we'll see if we can make any correct guesses on that. We see this didn't get spotted. ShoWTimE needs to be fast. He's fast. Of course, he's wide.
Yeah. 1 probe, 2 probes, and he is not going to get a Widow Mine though. So Bunny at least saving them for another day. Good.
Yeah. That's very, very good for Bunny. And this is the sucky part about playing blink into Robo Bay, is that your blink isn't finished yet as that first medevac goes in. So very often this happens. Sometimes they even get both bases and then save 1 mine, you know, so they force 2 mineral lines off. Bunny's gonna save that medevac, and there's two things you can do with that medevac, right? You can keep it either between the natural and the third. Well, there's three things. Natural and the third, you can send it back home, or you can keep it somewhere else outside of vision so that your opponent doesn't know. And I'm curious to see what Bunny will do. He seems to be looking for another opening though, and I don't completely mind that. You see him? Look at that. He's dodging vision like a madman.
Yeah, he's just going to get ran into by an observer here. So a little unfortunate, but yeah, trying to just switch the direction. Now the Stalkers are going to go and try and chase that medevac down. Would really like to just stop the Widow Mines hitting the mineral line again, right? So trying to hunt it down. He's got it. He's got Blink ready, but Bunny sees it, so he turns, and he's going to keep the medevac alive again. At least ShoWTimE negates the threat, but yeah, great from Bunny, just keeping a medevac, a couple extra Widow Mines alive for the army.
Yeah. He can also just send it around towards the top side, later rotate it into the third base, right? While he's doing a push in that middle area. Wouldn't completely surprise me. That sounds like a Bunny move to me, you know? Like, if you're talking Gabe would definitely put these in his army, but we're seeing like Bunny, Clem loves to have these separate mines as well, because these guys, they rely so much on multitask. Yeah, there we go. Gets repaired and zooms off with a little bit of a pit stop, and boom. Straight out of there, Wardy.
Straight out of there. Alright, well, as combat shield stim is done, we're going to see Bunny starting to push out onto the map. Of course, no third CC from him, so we expect to see that come down behind this attack, and he's moving the SCV down now. But generally means you want to get a little bit of something done with this engagement coming up, because you're down a few workers, you know, the Colossi out. If you can get a couple matrices down and trade out a little bit, that's generally good news for you, but ShoWTimE's going to see everything coming. The vision with these observers is great. Does start to lose them, one of the benefits of having the Raven. But he's obviously seen enough already to move down over here, have force fields ready, Colossi in position for this fight. Whoa!
ShoWTimE? Hello?
No, hello, why? Yikes.
Okay, this is it.
That's it, it's just dead, right? He's just lost everything.
It's over. Yeah, it's just over. Just,
Wow.
he should move to the third right now, Bunny. I'm not...
Yeah, he wants that Colossus really badly, man. He's gonna go drop an info with the Marines. No!
What a mistake. Oh, dropping the main base actually missed the mineral line. He somehow managed to burrow incorrectly. What an error by Bunny here. Oh,
Wow.
God. He could have gotten a free mineral line at the third with those medevacs, but he got greedy there. He wanted the game to end directly, while if he gets 17 workers on the third base, that's also a win, right? Like, that's almost guaranteed game over. Now ShoWTimE stays alive. His range finished up. Oh my God. What a huge error by the Korean Terran. Way too aggressive into that natural. Now, it doesn't mean he's necessarily in a bad position, but all of a sudden he needs to do a lot, because he's just down in workers. There's range on those Colossi, there's vision, there's no Raven anymore. 4 tanks will be able to do a lot. ShoWTimE with another miscommand on those Colossi, loses the second Coloss.
Oh my God.
Jesus Lord. There's 5 tanks, by the way. I said 4, but that's 5.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you don't finish elementary school, Wardy. Counting remains difficult.
Yeah. You didn't even get as far as counting on your fingers, I guess. Marauder's going to dive in. They're going to get him with Colossus there as well. I mean, just going to kill his battery off too. Now the Cybercore falls also. It doesn't matter too much if you warp it in just a bunch of Zealots anyway, but there's only really one Colossus to back this up now, and the tanks are just in such a commanding position. ShoWTimE is in a lot of trouble over here.
Yeah, ShoWTimE with that weird move command, losing all 3 sentries initially, which are so vital if you're playing against a Raven, right? Because your army actually doesn't consist of many units. The Colossi are the backbone. So the moment you get Matrix, you're gonna need to force field. It's yeah, you just have to.
Yep.
You're obliged to. It's the law, Wardy. Once again, ShoWTimE getting tricked there, not being aware of the laws in his country. As we see 6 tanks, they're just firing way too much. Good target on that Colossi as well. There's more reinforcements coming. All these medevacs are out of energy, but it won't matter as Bunny takes game number 3 in target blink. Things can get a little bit dicey, but it's still completely fine to get a Raven, in my opinion. It does add a little bit of DPS with a turret. You can potentially see the observer that the Tosses like to have. Now, that is all in the past, Wardy, as we're moving into game number 4 here, where we're in the bottom right corner, spawning as the red Protoss player. It is going to be none other than Demauer, ShoWTimE. And the top left, spawning as the blue Terran player, playing for team. And V, it's going to be Bunny, who's on match point.
I know you're laughing because you got me off guard.
Yeah, of course.
I was reading a message from my dad because I was like, oh, I can't fuck up the intro, can I? Oh no, it's Hearthstone. We just go to the other side of the map for no reason.
Yeah, you're just keeping you. Sometimes, Wardy, if you do the same thing for too long, you kind of get lazy, you know. So I'm just keeping you on your feet. I once read that there was just like a Dutch musician. What he would do, he would play songs like in a different way, in like a different key or something like that, to see if his band was paying attention during live performances. That's what I'm doing here as well. You know, I'm just making sure that you're paying attention by going to the other side of the map. That's something you got to do. Keep you on your feet, Wardy. Keep you on your feet.
Keep me on my feet. I appreciate it. Alright. Cybercore down into Nexus. Bunny getting ready to expand. Probe blocks it. Beautiful play. And now he expands.
You're really just telling us what's happening on the screen anyway, Wardy.
I mean, that's what the audience loves, man. It's a special
That's
move.
what they tune in for. It is the action.
You know, Todd screams like, look at the supply, and everyone has their phrases. I actually just say what's on the screen. That is my phrase.
You know what's a good word that I didn't know you also use it, but I tend to use alright a lot when I'm done with like a tangent or something, you know, like alright. And I just heard you use it as well after like we had our weird conversation. You were like, alright.
Yeah, alright, enough of that. Let's move on.
Yeah, I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. Yeah, bunker on the natural here for Bunny. And this time it's going to be in time. The gateway wasn't on the low ground. Wait, where did that adept go? Did it shade into the main? Wow, what a guy. Adept, Sentry, Twilight. Huh.
A little different.
Old build, Wardy. Very old build. What are the advantages of this over just the standard, let's call it the Zest opener, where you go Adept, Twilight, Stalker or something like that?
You get the hallucination.
Okay.
Get some vision. That's all I got, really.
Specifically, what you can do with this is that it's possible to delay the robo further. So you can do a reactionary robo to anything that the Terran can throw at you, which means that potentially you can have a faster third base, faster forges, that type of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if he completely skips the robo here and then goes into like a fast forge. No, it's just gonna get the robo anyway. What a guy. Then I don't really understand why you would play this. Because you just have your blink later. And any of the information you get right now is only really detection related, usually. Like there's nothing here that you can't already know from the start of the game, except whether you need detection or not. So in that case, I don't understand it. I much prefer warping in a later sentry than having faster blink. Because right now, his blink isn't actually going to be ready for that medevac. Which is a big deal, because this is 4 mines. He reactor those, didn't he? I missed that, excuse me. Wardy saw that, I didn't. There's 2 this is what Maru played against ShoWTimE 3 times in Intel Extreme Masters. Twice,
I
because
missed
he
that
won
series,
2-0.
I think.
Yeah. This is the exact same build order. Yeah, no blink. This is gonna be super rough.
I do remember this, and ShoWTimE had a really tough time. He lost a lot of workers. And I remember that now as we see the Widow Mines unloading and burrowing up, and they're going to get 2 workers. He's going to save all, sorry, not all, but 2 of the 3, and now 1 more fire, so he'll save 3 of 4. Wow.
Oh, he's going to go into 4 gate from this?
Okay.
This seems really, really bad for him, honestly. He's playing against 3 racks. Second tank is going to be out. It's funny because people very often think that when you play Reactor Hellions, or like Reactor anything, that your tanks are going to be delayed. But that's not actually the case, because you almost always build 3 factory units pre-tech lab. So Hellion, mine, or triple mine. And that was basically the same. He just lost some time swapping. But he's still going to be able to get 2 tanks out in time for this 4-gate. And he has a lot of pressure on the map right now. He still has those 2 Hellions, which force 2 units in the natural. He still has the 3 mines in the main, which force the Stalkers in the main. And also, it means that ShoWTimE needs to pay attention there. This is just a fantastic setup for Bunny here, who is looking very, very strong to take home this series, Wardy.
Yep. No, he absolutely is, as we see the Stalker's going to blink up into a bunker. Raven, tank. Oh, no. He gets nothing to begin with, so the tank got an extra shot off. The bunker kept firing. The auto turret went down. SCV started to fall. Obviously, you blink back now defensive. You got the Prism to evacuate units if you want to, but it feels bad for Bunny when you look at like 13 workers lost, but this was a lot of Stalkers that ShoWTimE loses out on. He derps a couple more forward. This is the end of the pressure, right? There's no further pressure you really get from this that's going to be amountable to anything.
He needs to though. He needs to. He can't sit back. He lost a couple of workers at home once again. The mines did their work. We see another reburrow. There's still 2 cars in that. Oh, 2 cars just got picked up in the medevac, and now he's gonna drop these into the main base. Oh, ShoWTimE needs to go right now, but I don't think he can. He's gonna go for that tank. Doesn't get a guy. GG gets called. You were right. This amounts to nothing. A little bit of a mind game with that hallucination